Hello, welcome to Millwall Fan TV. This is a Millwall Roundup where we'll talk a bit about Maikel Kieftenbald signing for Millwall. Not confirmed yet, but looks like it's likely to happen. And we will also talk about the poor 3-0 defeat at home to Bristol City in the FA Cup. And we'll also look ahead to the next Championship match where we face Watford at the Den. But first of all, let's start off by talking about Maikel Kieftenbald. So they broke the news yesterday that Millwall were very interested in signing him, but then it came out later in the evening. I think it's We Are Birmingham, the official journalism page for Birmingham City. They confirmed that the move is completed and an announcement is imminent. Obviously, the announcement hasn't come yet. Whenever that comes, Monday, Sunday, or whenever. But it looks like the deal's pretty much done for Maikel Kieftenbald, according to reports. I haven't heard anything, don't know about it. But according to reports, it sounds like it's pretty much done. Jake Sanders on Twitter also confirmed that. Let's talk a bit about him, first of all. Would he be a good signing? At first, I was a bit hesitant. I'm going to be honest. I think as most fans, he's 30 years old. He's a centre midfielder and he's a centre defensive midfielder. And I personally think we need a bit more of an attacking midfielder than a defensive one. So yeah, that was my first concern. But judging by the Birmingham fan reactions, they are absolutely gutted, which says to me that they think he's a really good player. So actually, he'll be a really good signing. He looks like he's a tough tackler, no nonsense player, which would suit the bill for Millwall. We need that player that's going to fly into challenges. He's going to break up play. He looks exactly like that, and he might even be able to push Leonard and Woods further forward and give them more freedom. But I do think we still need an attacking midfielder. I definitely believe that. Whether we can get one or not will be the ultimate problem. Will we be able to get one? Will we not? But yeah, so Kieftenbald, he suffered about a 9-month injury after I think it tore its tearing his MCL. I think it was not ACL, MCL against Leeds United in the Championship about 2 years ago. He was having a great season, and he landed it awkwardly on his knee, and he was out for 9 months. Actually, his first appearance from the bench was against us on the 26th of February 2020, so one of our last games at the Den before lockdown. He came on as a second half substitute in the 0-0 draw against Birmingham. He looks a really good player. I've watched a few highlights of him. He looks a very tough tackler. I'll tell you what he's really good at. He's really good in the community. He's really good with the fans. He's really good with everything like that. But on his footballing side of things, he looks just as good. They're really gutted to see him go, so that's a real positive for Millwall if we have got a really good player there. So fingers crossed, he's a really good player, and hopefully we'll see him. Hopefully he'll be in the squad against Watford if it is done like the reports say it is. So yeah, I think that's going to be a really good signing. So let's hope that is. But let's cover the Bristol City loss 3-0, which has just finished 3-0 to Bristol City. Really, really poor performance. First of all, I think it highlights how poor our squad depth is. He makes 8 changes and they just can't compete, and they just can't compete with a strong, physical, quick Bristol City side. Unfortunately, we go down 3-0 at the Den. It's a real shame. For our FA Cup to be FA Cup journey to be over for this year. So yeah, that's a real shame. But we started strong. We started well. Parrott and Zahor linking up well together, but Parrott's been really underwhelming recently, and ever since he's come back from injury. I do think there's a player in there, he's just not playing at the moment, and we need him to start playing ASAP. Otherwise, he's no good to us. Zahor feeding off scraps. We didn't have any nothing to put in the box today. We had no creativity, and that's where we're lacking, and that's where I believe we need to strengthen before the window is up. And we also need a new centre-back, obviously, to cover for Murray Wallace's injury. But yeah, on the game, obviously, they went 1-0 up from a Deju penalty that Frank Foden took down. Honestly, I wasn't 100% sure it was a penalty, actually. I felt like, he did get Deju, but I think I felt like he got the ball first. I mean, I might be wrong. I'll have to check it back. I'll have to watch it back. But my first reactions and my second reactions after watching the replay were that it wasn't a penalty, but I think it was a penalty, but it was a soft penalty, put it that way. More than a penalty than Wednesday night's game, but not so much of a penalty more than a penalty of that, but I think it was still soft. After that, we looked to get back into the game, and Tom Bradshaw nearly did it straight away with a header cleared off the line. But they could have been 2-0 up just before half time when Deju headed wide. Yeah, it was a really poor first half performance where we played well for the first half of the half. But we were poor after that, and we were poor for the rest of the game. And they doubled their lead for a free kick, and it came off Mason Bennett's head and went into the back of the net after a big deflection off him. So that was a bit of luck, but we didn't create anything in the game, and we didn't deserve to be in the game, unfortunately. We just weren't good enough, and inconsistency at the moment is killing us. I think the referee was probably very biased towards them. I think there was quite a lot of fouls that could have easily gone our way that didn't. And the third was Semenyo, I think, who slotted it past Fielding, who didn't come out. He should have closed him down better, but I think it was a good finish from Semenyo. He made changes. He tried to change things up. He brought Smith on. He brought Bury on. He brought Woods on. But we were just really poor today, and inconsistency is really killing us. We can't go from I'll go back to a couple of games ago. We played so well against Bournemouth, then we played so poorly against Forest, then we played so well against Huddersfield, and then we played so poorly against Bristol City. It's not sustainable, and it's not one that's going to get you anywhere in the league. You've got to maintain consistency, and even if you get a draw here and there, but even if you win one and then draw one, at least you're not losing. And I think obviously you can't draw today. Obviously it's the FA Cup, but really poor overall. I was really disappointed with today's performance. But let's look forward to the Watford game now. Don't really want to talk about that game too much, Bristol City, but Watford's going to be a really tough game at the Den, which we've had a really poor record for some time now. We need to turn that round, and I don't know where it's going to come from, but I'm hoping it's going to come from Tuesday night's game against Watford. So let's talk about Watford. Watford have a number of key individuals. Probably them and Watford and Bournemouth have the best individual players in the Championship, and they're playing like it. I think Watford are about 4th in the table. They're looking very good. They've got players like Will Hughes. They've got numerous players, Troy Deeney, Ismail Assar. They've got all these players that are absolutely brilliant, and they're going to be a really tough kettle of fish to play against on Tuesday. But let's talk a bit about the Millwall team, and let's get straight into the Millwall side that I believe should start the match, and I think it should go back to Watford regular lineup for Tuesday night's game. So here it is: in goal, Bartosz Bajkowski, Danny McNamara, Sean Hutchinson, Jake Cooper and Scott Malone at the back. We'll go with Ryan Leonard and Ryan Woods in the midfield. Jed Wallace and Mason Bennett on the wings. And we'll go with Kenza Hall and Troy Parrott to start up top. So obviously Troy Parrott is the interesting one. Obviously starting, does he deserve it? Probably not, to be honest. Probably not is the answer. But, could you start Bradshaw? Could you start Bob Varston? Do you start Smith? I just think against the Watford side, you need someone to work hard, and maybe you start Bob Varston or Bradshaw, someone to pester the defence. But at the end of the day, they haven't got that quality, and I don't think Parrott has that quality either. Or he does, but it's just not showing at the moment, which is really unfortunate. But that is the team. I'm going to go for a score prediction, and my score prediction is I'm going to go for Millwall 1, Watford 1. I think that'll be a good result. Get a draw against a good Watford team. That'll be a good result if we can get it, but it's going to be a really hard game. But without further ado, come on, you Lions.